Ask Reddit by Awag. What's the weirdest computer game you've ever played? When I was too young to understand, I used to play Leisure Suit Larry that my older brother had installed. I didn't understand the appeal, it just seemed weird to me. Sierra Games was the shit in the 90s. Rock Simulator. You're a rock. That's it. You can level up and buy skins, but you can't really do anything, because, well, you're a rock. Lol, how do you level up? What happens when you do? Probably Redneck Rampage. Dude. I have never found anyone else who played this game. It was so good, yet no one I've ever talked to about it has ever heard of it. Desert Bus. Widely regarded as the worst video game ever. It's Penn and Teller making a point. They saw people getting angry about violence in video games and put the game on the compilation to show how boring and pointless video games would be if they were like real life. SCON. That shit was weird. It was more of an interactive art exhibit than a game. Very cool art design, very weird game. Half the games on Newgrounds from back in the day. I can still remember Condoleezza Rice having a shootout against the Taliban in the White House. I don't remember the name of it, but I was in high school, 2004 to 2008, and on one of the computers in the CAD shop there was a game that basically simulated the stock market, but it was all drugs. Like you'd start off with a bit of money and buy some of this or that drug where it was cheap and try to sell it for a profit. Occasionally you'd get a message. The feds raided a shipment of arrivals, so the price of something went sky high. It was actually pretty fun. Drug Wars came out in the very early 80s and AMP spawned a huge number of clones and copycats over the years. Dope Wars, Dope Lord, Pimp Wars, etc. Used to play one of them on my TI-83 calculator. I played a mobile game where you just received messages from a space explorer that had crashed on a strange planet. They would chat a little and ask advice on what to do, like make a shelter or scout the area, or if they should try and climb the nearby mountain or head for the crater in the other direction. It also happened in real-ish time, so it may be hours before you actually hear back from them depending on what you decide. The story got pretty creepy too from what I remember. I wish I could remember the name of the game. OHH, please remember I want to play. Papers, please takes the cake for me. NES aesthetics meets Soviet style colors and music. Your job? Checking passports to provide for your family. It's one of the most addictive and engaging games I've ever played. I'd give that game a solid 9/10. Highly recommend it. I find it amazing that Lucas Pope thought of this idea and decided to make it into a game that people would find addictive. My brother bought me a game as a joke when we were younger called Genital Jousting on Steam. You play as a detached penis and it has a butthole where the scrotum is, and the goal is to go around and get your penis in other people's buttholes, while protecting your own. And another one he got me is called Shower with Your Dad Simulator, and it's a quick match game. You have to match the child to the parent by skin color. Cruelty Squad. That game is an acid trip of an acid trip. You are a flesh automaton animated by neurotransmitters. It's less out there than most titles here, probably, but Inscription has some pretty mind-bending twists and turns throughout. That game is awesome. Freaking great. Faith honestly was the weirdest one I've played. It kind of comes off as a cliche, but when you actually play it, it's super creepy and scary. But above all else, it's unsettlingly weird. Highly recommend. Mortis. I played one many moons ago called Blue Ice. It was kind of a surreal adventure game. Like, there was one puzzle with a scene of a frozen lake and the hint, a warm maggot helps catch a cold fish. Logically, the solution was to take the sun out of the sky and put it in the lake so you could get the fish. Blink, logically, is doing a lot of lifting there. The Stanley Parable. Great game. Short, but with lots of different endings. Using the narrator as a game mechanic was a lot of fun. Oh man, I remember waiting 5Y to get the achievement for not playing for 5Y. I know a lot of people just change the clock, but I did it legit. Somehow my oldest child found out about the game. I didn't know kids talked about it. Lol anyway, enjoyed it so much last birthday we gifted them a metal sign which is now hanging next to the bed. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. I've played every Oddworld except Stranger's Wrath, which is sort of an unconnected spin-off. They're surreal but in a very entertaining, enjoyable way. You Must Be 18 or Older to Enter is an indie horror game that recreates every 90s kid's experience of searching the net for porn without getting caught. I do wish I liked the execution as much as the concept. But hey, it's free on Steam. Played it, it's awesome. Antichamber. I still find it mad that the person who made that game literally made the one game and the pieced out and didn't make anything else. Postal. There's no other game where you can perspire, set a marching band ablaze, fight the Taliban, go on a murder rampage with a pair of hedge clippers, go to war against religious fundamentalists, use a cat as a silencer for a Spaz 12, huff cat litter to go slow-mo, commit countless war crimes and human rights violations, and kill Gary Coleman all in the same day. Harvester. This is the only answer in this thread where the game is truly disturbing. The gratuitous violence is so blasé. Edit. Here's what I mean: https://yahoo.be/g-osus-usfqq. Na 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 nakatamari damasi. Oh Christ, that will be going through my head all morning. Definitely Who is Leela? The graphics, the fact that I would have to mimic a facial expression for each interaction with a human. The story is also super deep and it has a lot of endings. Frog Fractions. Don't look up any info about it. Just play it. Edit. I probably wouldn't play it with kids. It gets a bit weird. I didn't listen to you and looked it up to see if it was suitable to play with my 9 years old. I wish I had left it as a surprise. There's this gem called Surgeon Simulator. You play as a gloriously inept surgeon whose tools are, well, let's just say a stapler might be involved. Good luck removing that kidney without puncturing a lung. Is that the one with the pizza cutter as a scalpel? Amateur surgeon. Doki Doki Literature Club. Yup, heard some good word of mouth about it, so decided to try it out. Not at all what I expected, but if you stick with it, it's quite a ride.